Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
For any students to see the pictures.
Ellery Hartless, who worked at Adams Elementary, believe there are any other victims, but they are in county jail. He's facing felony charges that include
she became the victim of sex.
Smile sharp as a hidden blade, calling it special attention till the kid walks out, hollow and gray. You shake hands with the principal, pose clean for the yearbook frame, but every compliment, every secret text is a step in your little game. Leave the kids alone, you don't touch what isn't yours. Predator in plain clothes, hiding behind those doors. Judges slap your wrist, then you're free to roam again. See ya, trouble. Should've lost your life to the pen. Jurors see the trembling hands, hear a voice that can barely speak. You call it bad decision once, they call it a stolen week. You walk out and you're button up, they walk out with a lifelong scar. You get time served, keep your name, they get told that's just how things are. Leave the kids alone, you don't touch what isn't yours. Slap your wrist, then you're free to roam again. See ya, Shomo. Should've lost your life to the pen. Teacher of the year on a plastic plaque. How many kids did you break like that? Gavel hits soft, you just get back to the comfort you had. Where's the line we swore not to cross? Where's the wait for the lives you cost? We want bars, not a second chance. You don't belong in a classroom glance. Leave the kids alone, you don't touch what isn't yours. Predator in plain clothes, hiding behind those doors. Judges slap your wrist, then you're free to roam again. See ya, Shomo. Should've lost your life to the pen. Lock that door! Throw that kid! You chose hard! We choose the way! Leave the kids alone! Leave the kids alone! See ya! Trouble! Hope you rot in stone.
Here's a story from San Angelo, Texas that will make you mad. Tom Green County Sheriff's deputies arrested Vincent Lee Castro, a 38-year-old, for aggravated sexual assault of a child after he took a plea deal in district court, meaning he was free on some type of bond beforehand and after no time in jail. In exchange for a plea of guilty, he was placed on 8 years deferred adjudication probation. That means that he won't spend 1 minute in jail for ruining a child's life. The whole proceeding took a whopping 35 minutes from the time he was booked to the time he was released. He was booked into the jail at 3:38 p.m. Wednesday, and he was released at 4:13 p.m. the same day on probation. These prosecutors and judges that let things like this happen need their heads examined after they are thrown out of the judicial system, as this is a total slap in the face to victims and advocates, as well as they let these scum know that they can get away with it again and again. Makes me sick.
Welcome back to East Texas Now. Getting to a story just into our newsroom here. We're learning about a former Wells ISD teacher who's already facing child and animal-related sex crimes has been arrested again after a child made an outcry. Here's her image now. Now, Hillary Williams, 34 of Lufkin, she's on your screen now, is charged with indecency with a child and is being held on a $200,000 bond. Now, this new charge is in addition to a charge of possession of child pornography and bestiality. According to an arrest affidavit, a child made an outcry on April 28th. Now, that child claims that Williams had touched her inappropriately 2 months earlier. Williams and her boyfriend, Michael McCrary of Lufkin, who's 38 years old, was arrested back in February. That's after evidence was discovered on McCrary's cell phone of pornographic images involving a child and a dog. Again, just into our newsroom, a former Wells ISD teacher already facing child and animal-related sex crimes has been arrested again after a child made an outcry.
Right now at 5:30, disturbing new details about an elementary school teacher arrested for child porn.
He faced a judge today as authorities reveal the investigation is far from over. Local 10's Christian De La Rosa is live outside of the jail in Fort Lauderdale with the latest on this safety alert. Christian.
Such a troubling story. At last check, this longtime educator is still here behind bars at the main jail in Fort Lauderdale, but not because of those child pornography charges.
They might not be able to go home today.
Facing a judge on child pornography charges, elementary school teacher Craig Rogers asking if he'll get to bond out of jail. Coral Springs detectives arrested the Westchester Elementary physical education teacher Tuesday. Investigators say they tracked him down thanks to a cyber tip on the social media platform Kik, where they say Rogers proclaimed to be a pervert teacher. It's also the media where police say he was sharing videos of children as young as 6 engaged in sex with adults. Thursday, the judge granting him bond $7,500 for each of the 7 counts of child porn, but revoked a previous bond on another case.
And it's scary to know that, and I mean, you just never know.
Back in April, Rogers was arrested and charged for stalking over a dispute with his next-door neighbor in this Coral Springs townhome community along the 1600 block of Cypress Point Drive. Neighbors we spoke to here say the longtime PE teacher kept to himself.
You just never know who is next to you.
So again, Rogers was already out on bond on those stalking charges, and of course, that was revoked when he was again arrested for the child pornography charges, for which he was granted bond. But again, he is still waiting to find out what happens next. I reached out to his defense attorney. Again, he will remain in jail for the time being. And we want to stress that this is still an ongoing case. This man was a teacher for over 20 years in Coral Springs, and so detectives still want to know, is there anyone else out there who might have been a victim? If you have any information that can help investigators in this case, they want to hear from you. Live in Fort Lauderdale, I'm Christian De La Rosa, Local 10 News.
A local gym teacher has been arrested over claims he had an inappropriate relationship with a child. 33-year-old Dimitri Altabar is expected to be in court this afternoon. The district attorney has filed 5 counts of committing lewd acts with a child under the age of 14. Burbank PD says a week-long investigation revealed Altabar had inappropriate contact with a student while teaching at St. Francis Xavier School in Burbank. Altabar has been placed on leave and his bail has been set at $100,000.
Thank you, JP. Breaking news in Shelby County, where we've learned a teacher at Calera Elementary is charged with 2 counts of sex abuse and 1 count of enticing a child for immoral purposes. Calera police identified the teacher as 49-year-old Heather Osment. She's listed on Calera Elementary's website as a kindergarten teacher and was named Calera Elementary's Teacher of the Year for the 24-25 school year. Police say she's currently on administrative leave. Police say they began investigating after reports of inappropriate behavior involving Osment and local teenagers. They say the reported incidents did not happen on campus. We've reached out to Shelby County Schools for a statement, and we'll share that when we get it. And breaking news from Tuscaloosa.
A Metro daycare teacher is now charged in 2 separate child sex abuse cases. Prosecutors charged Ryan Vaughn yesterday with continued sex abuse of a 7-year-old in his care. He's facing similar charges in a 2024 case involving a 9-year-old. Court documents say both incidents happened at Tudor Time Daycare, Maple Grove. Vaughn is scheduled to go to trial in the first case next month.
Prosecutors say he was a teacher and a track coach who turned into a predator.
He falsely presented himself as a chiropractor, that he had the ability to massage that the areas for soreness because of injury.
Shocking charges revealed in a case that's rocked a school community. All right, so this is Nathan Tedford. Right now, he's being held in the Wayne County Jail after being charged with sexual assault of a student who has cognitive delays.
And he works as a teacher at East English Village Preparatory Academy. Erica Erickson is live on the story for us tonight. Erica, what'd you find out?
Well, that teacher's defense attorney says he has a master's degree. He has no criminal history. He's a teacher here, but the prosecutors paint a much, much different story.
This is a clear case of a teacher grooming a young man in order to touch him allegedly for sexual gratification.
Seen scowling and later looking disappointed when giving a $30,000 cash bond. 54-year-old Nathan Tedford charged with criminal sexual conduct involving coercion in the 4th degree. Tedford, a teacher and track coach at Detroit's East English Village Prep Academy, that is until a student came forward.
Unfortunately, this young man felt he couldn't say anything because he was afraid that he wasn't going to be taken home.
Prosecutors accused Tedford of grooming an 18-year-old student with cognitive delays, pretending to be a chiropractor, luring the teen to his home to massage him. The teen then telling his girlfriend and his mother what happened.
Mr. Tedford did admit to the police he was touching his, I believe, his thigh.
A spokesperson for the district tells Local 4 Tedford had originally been placed on paid leave, but, quote, now that felony charges have been filed, the employee has been placed on unpaid administrative leave pending the outcome of an investigation.
The school year may be out, but I know a lot of educators that educate during the summer.
Well, Mr. Tedford won't be one of them.
During that arraignment, prosecutors expressed deep concern that there may be more victims out there. Now, we did speak with Detroit Police. They said they don't know of any more victims at this time, but they're encouraging parents, please speak with your children and call Detroit Police with your concerns. Reporting live, Erica Erickson, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Erica.
Pontiac, Michigan. A 26-year-old teacher is accused of having sex with a 16-year-old student and telling her coworker about it. Jocelyn Sanroman is accused of having a sexual relationship with that student, and she's also accused of having a sexual relationship with another student as well. Details unknown there. So she's a former teacher at Oakside Prep Academy in Michigan, and she's charged with 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct after allegedly having that relationship. That's according to the Oakland County prosecutor Karen D. McDonald. And according to McDonald, Sanroman had that relationship at the same time that she was having a relationship with an adult. This defendant here is accused of using her position of authority to exploit a minor victim, McDonald said. These allegations represent the ultimate breach of trust placed in educators by parents as well as the community. And as a former teacher herself, she applauded the teacher who contacted police about the situation, protecting other students from further exploitation.
Now, former Horry County teacher facing some disturbing criminal allegations, now walking free tonight from jail. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rachel Bogle.
I'm Eric Weisfeld. It's 6 o'clock. We're going to begin tonight with our Ashley Listrom, who joins us live from the J. Reuben Long Detention Center. So, Ashley, tell us what just happened out there and also explain what led up to all of this in the first place.
Eric, Rachel, just within the past 15 minutes, 31-year-old Matthew Boster has posted bond. He's accused of trying to persuade one of his underage students at Aner High School over text to have sex with him. Now, a judge granted him bond earlier today, despite claims from a victim's advocate saying that that student that was allegedly preyed on just won't feel comfortable with him walking free.
She's very scared and confused. The defendant knows where she works.
That's why the advocate claims Boaster doesn't deserve bond, pointing to warrants as she argues his alleged criminal behavior goes far beyond texting. Those documents allege Boaster also got physical with the student in question, inappropriately touching them at several points during the school year. Boaster's attorney, on the other hand, was able to successfully argue his client is not a danger to other people, citing his education history and his active support during his criminal case from his own family members.
He has an undergraduate degree, he has a bachelor's in marketing, he has a master's from Coastal Carolina in education, and I will just say his mother's out in the lobby just showed support.
Boaster himself also spoke during his bond hearing, revealing he recently bought a home not far away from Aner High School.
I've been between Horry County and Georgetown County for 7 years. Different apartments. This is the first house that I own. So.
And while Boaster may live close to campus, we've learned he won't be able to get close to his alleged victim anytime soon.
They requested if you can't deny bond, get the highest that you can, a no contact order and electric monitoring.
We're told Boaster officially resigned with his job with Horry County Schools effective today. Reporting live in Horry County, Ashley Listrom, WNBF News.
Also in Fairfax County tonight, prosecutors have charged a middle school teacher with possession of child pornography. This is Christine Iser of Springfield. The 28-year-old teaches at Irving Middle School, and we should point out police say the charges against her do not appear to involve any children at that school.
We begin this evening in Nipomo, where additional search warrants have been served in the case involving a former Santa Maria substitute teacher who is now facing child pornography charges. Sheriff's officials say deputies on patrol in Nipomo late Thursday contacted the driver of a car parked on the side of the road near Los Barros Road and Highway 101. Officials say deputies discovered child porn on the phone of the driver, identified as Gregory Kornman of Nipomo. According to law enforcement, the 54-year-old previously worked as a substitute teacher in the Santa Maria Bonita School District for grades K through 8. KSBY reached out to the school district and was told Kornman was last employed with the district on January 27th, adding that he is no longer affiliated with the district. You can find their statement on our website, ksby.com. Kornman was arrested on suspicion of possession of child pornography and is currently being held without bail in San Luis Obispo County Jail.
New at 4, an Orange County middle school teacher is in jail accused of having sex with a student at school. Sarah Jacobs faced a judge this afternoon. West 2's Spencer Tracy is live at the jail with the latest. And Spencer, investigators say this happened for months.
That's right, and they say that it allegedly took place at Corner Lake Middle School. Now, officials say they sent an email to families today saying that they are taking these allegations very seriously.
Sarah Jacobs is spending her summer vacation in the Orange County Jail. Corner Lake Middle School confirms to West 2 she was an employee there.
Ms. Jacobs is here pursuant to an arrest warrant.
Investigators say Jacobs is accused of having sex with a 14-year-old boy. This all allegedly happened during the school year of 2022 and 2023. She went before a judge for the first time on Tuesday. She told the judge that she was married and also a mother of a 12-year-old.
Ms. Jacobs is not to have any contact with the victim in this case or any witnesses. She is not to have unsupervised contact with her own child.
Investigators say Jacobs had sex with the boy multiple times in a classroom during lunchtime before spring and winter breaks. One time, investigators say she even placed curtains over the classroom windows and locked the door. The boy told detectives he would eat in there because he had issues fitting in. Detectives say she told the boy her husband found out about the relationship and threatened to report her. She is now facing many sexual battery charges, including engaging in sexual conduct and a relationship with a student.
Now, the judge gave her a bond of $19,000 of all her charges. Now, as for her employee status, now on the Corner Lake Middle School website, it says that she was posted as a math teacher. But when reaching out to officials, they tell us that she is not going to be able to go on the campus pending on what comes out of the investigation. Of course, we'll keep you posted on air and online. I'm covering Orange County, live in Orlando. Spencer Tracy, West 2 News.
No bond for a Volusia County teacher accused of creating child pornography with artificial intelligence.
David McCowan is facing more than 24 charges tonight, including possession of child porn. He was arrested last week. Details in the arrest report are extremely graphic, but we can tell you the report says the suspect had pictures of students and used AI to generate child porn. Following the arrest, UBIC Academy in Daytona posted the same message that was emailed to parents. It says McCowan was a 6th grade teacher and has since been fired by the school. He is set to be formally charged 3 weeks from today.
That former Hyde Plains teacher and basketball coach accused of receiving hundreds of inappropriate pictures from a teenage student has now been charged with 10 counts of having child pornography. 28-year-old Jonathan Shearer-Ham went before a judge today in Merritt County. According to court documents, the investigation kicked off last month when reports popped up regarding an inappropriate relationship between Shearer-Ham and that student at the school. A search of his phone allegedly found more than 475 files containing child porn. His bond was set at $100,000. He has since posted that bond. We know he's due back in court on July 16th.
A fired New York school employee is accused of sending nudes to a 14-year-old boy. This is Anna Maria Milazzo, a 22-year-old who had previously worked for the Greater Southern Tier Board of Cooperative Educational Services. She was arrested on Monday, June 16th, and charged with second-degree disseminating indecent material to minors, a felony, as well as endangering the welfare of a child. The Chemung County Sheriff's Office announced on its Facebook account that Milazzo allegedly sent the boy photos during a 3-month span. And here's we get to the justice problems facing us all. Now listen to this. The 22-year-old was reportedly issued a ticket despite being charged with a felony and is scheduled to appear in Wellsburg Village Court at a later date. No arrest, no bond. This needs to change.
A Portsmouth grand jury will hear a sexual assault case against a teacher.
35-year-old Jarvis Green is accused of sexually assaulting 2 of his students while he was teaching at Churchland High School. The crimes allegedly happened in 2015. Tonight on Your Side's investigative reporter Chris Horn has the latest in the case.
Yeah, Aisha, the Commonwealth moved to have the hearing closed this morning here in JDR Court, so we had to wait out in the hall. After about an hour and a half, the result was 4 felony sex charges against Jarvis Green. He used to teach math at Churchland High School. Now those charges will go before the grand jury. The defense attorney for 35-year-old Jarvis Green says there's more to the case than what has been revealed so far.
We have a solid defense. We had a solid defense. A lot of the evidence didn't come out today, and it shouldn't have. It was lower court. But it's a solid defense.
One of the alleged victims posted on social media late last year accusing Green of abusing her at school and at his home. Court documents stated that Green would use a cabinet in the rear of the classroom to conceal his sexual assault. Green is charged with having sex with that same student at his home. The other alleged victim told authorities Green would pick her up from her home and they would have sex at his home. And Green offered to pay her money so that she could tell her parents she was getting paid to tutor another student.
It's sad, it's a sad case, and his life has been ruined, and a jury will have to decide where the truth lies. But we have a good defense.
Judge Solomon Ashby dismissed 2 misdemeanor charges against Green before today's hearing began. Those charges were sex with a minor age 15 or older with consent. The statute of limitations had run out on those charges. The Office of the Portsmouth Commonwealth's Attorney gave us a statement this afternoon. It reads in part, protecting the safety and well-being of Portsmouth's youth is paramount. The Portsmouth Commonwealth's Attorney's Office remains fully committed to vigorously pursuing justice in this case and every case involving a betrayal of trust by those charged with the care of minors and other vulnerable members of our community. We stand ready to prosecute this matter to the fullest extent of the law. So the 4 felony sex charges will go to the grand jury the first Thursday of July. Now, if they come back with an indictment, Michael Massey, the defense attorney, says his strategy will be to try to get 2 separate trials, one for each alleged victim. By the way, they are now 25 and 26 years old. We're live in Portsmouth. Chris Horn, 10 on Your Side.
Developing right now, we are waiting to learn new information as a former CMS teacher is facing multiple child sex charges in Missouri. 48-year-old Cedric Gerald was arrested back in May in St. Louis. He's accused of engaging in inappropriate behavior with several students in Missouri. As we speak, attorneys are getting ready to speak about the cases against Gerald. When we get any new developments, we'll bring those to you both on air and online. Meanwhile, we have reached out to CMS for comment and are waiting to hear back.
A former GC teacher arrested. FBI said he targeted minors online and used Cash App to pay for explicit content.
And now investigators want to know if there are more victims out there. Fox 5's Maureen Ume is live this morning in Northeast with the latest details. Maureen.
That's right. This case is raising very serious concerns. The FBI says that Devon Keith Brown used Cash App and social media to get nude pictures from minors. And now police are wanting to see if there are other victims out there. They're asking the public for their help in identifying who those victims might be. Let's show you who this person is. He's 56 years old. Again, his name is Devon Keith Brown. He was arrested by the FBI. He is accused of sending cash payments to underage girls in exchange for explicit content using social media and money apps to communicate. Brown was a health teacher at IDEA Public Charter School here in Northeast D.C. The school says he is no longer employed here and that no current students appear to be involved. Investigators also say that Brown was associated with a youth track club called Project Impact Sports. They are now looking into whether he had contact with other minors through that program. Court documents detail how Brown used the name Joseph and sent between $10 and $35 to minors in exchange for nude photos. One victim told the FBI that she met him at a giant grocery store and that he later made her feel uncomfortable, telling her he was near her house and wanted to link up. In a written statement, Stephen Jensen, the assistant director of the FBI Washington field office, said those who prey on minors to solicit the production of child sexual abuse materials are morally reprehensible and will be held accountable for their heinous crimes. The FBI remains committed to protecting our children and ridding our communities of this grievous scourge. Now, we have reached out to Project Impact and have yet to hear back from them. No response yet. The FBI is asking anyone who may have information about Devon Keith Brown or may have been victimized by him to give them a call. They are saying that anyone who contacts them can do so anonymously. That's the latest. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
A former teacher at Greenwood Middle School has been convicted of child molesting. A Johnson County jury found 48-year-old Shane Williams guilty of 2 counts of child molestation, a count of child solicitation, and a count of dissemination of harmful material. Court documents say the investigation started when a victim, who was not a student, told a family member Williams had been showing them pornography and forcing them to touch him inappropriately. Another non-student victim came forward during that investigation, disclosing similar abuse. Williams faces over 32 years in prison and is set to be sentenced in early August.
Other news, a former employee at Elkton Middle School pleaded guilty Tuesday to several counts related to sexual abuse of a child in Bedford County Circuit Court. According to court records, John Rose IV entered guilty pleas yesterday on 6 counts of taking indecent liberties with a minor and 2 additional counts of carnal knowledge of a child. He's set to be sentenced for those crimes on January 30th. Meanwhile, Rose, who once taught 8th grade civics and served as a coach at Elkton Middle School, will also face 4 similar accusations in Rockingham County tomorrow. He's charged locally with 2 counts of indecent liberties with a child in a custodial relationship, as well as 2 counts of carnal knowledge of a 13 or 14-year-old without force. This all stems from an alleged incident in September 2023. That hearing is scheduled to start at 9 a.m.
A substitute teacher turned accused predator is now an inmate. Carlos Gonzalez sent to the Fresno County Jail just as he pleaded not guilty on Monday.
He is appearing before the court knowing the charges against him.
Gonzalez denies preying on kids as young as 13, pleading not guilty to lewd behavior, sending pornography, and meeting children with the intent to have sex.
The people have concerns about this defendant's the danger he poses to the children of the community.
9 counts in all, the charges stem from 2 undercover operations, where investigators say Gonzalez used the app Kik to meet with people he thought were 14 and 13.
Repeatedly reference a concern about being caught and a need to sneak around.
The prosecutor revealed Gonzalez still had the chat open on his phone when he went to the meeting and found investigators posing as those teens. And those kick messages could soon come out in court, as Action News legal analyst Tony Capozzi says prosecutors build their case.
The government has to prove that he knew the people who were soliciting were under the age of 18 and under the age of 14.
The next hearing is still weeks away, and Gonzalez's attorney tried repeatedly to keep the man out on bail, highlighting his sleep apnea, his work with a counselor, and strong community ties.
He doesn't have any plans to flee.
But the judge sent Gonzalez to jail and more than quadrupled his bail. He raised it from $50,000 to $225,000.
I believe that bail amount hopefully would ensure the safety of society.
Brian Mishk, a Yorktown Heights resident and Peekskill High School permanent substitute teacher, was charged with promoting and possessing child sexual abuse material back on May 30th. Mishk was charged with promoting an obscene sexual performance by a child, a Class D felony, as well as possessing an obscene sexual performance by a child, a Class E felony. So on April 30th, Mishk here, the Chomo, allegedly promoted the obscene sexual performance, and that he promoted a digital video that involved an adult man and female child about 3 to 5 years old, using the online program Red Flag Pick to share it. And then on May 30th, he allegedly possessed an obscene sexual performance, in which includes sexual conduct by a child about 7 to 10 years old. Disgusting.
A Florida teacher accused of having sex with a student. Now he's fired and facing charges. As WKRG News 5's Hannah O'Gara learned, investigators say it started while the two were in town for a track meet.
A track meet in early May in Escambia County that investigators say led to 34-year-old Parker Harris Audison bringing a 15-year-old student to a hotel room. At the time, he was a teacher at Weewahitchika High School in Gulf County. Authorities there informed the Escambia County Sheriff's Office about what allegedly took place during the meet.
We started investigating and determined that there was at a hotel room here in Escambia County, or we felt like there was at a hotel room here in Escambia County, a sexual incident that did take place between the 34-year-old and the 15-year-old student.
Escambia County Sheriff Chip Simmons says the track meet took place on May 3rd and investigations began on May 7th.
Ultimately determined there was probable cause to believe that that the crime of lewd and lascivious, the felony charge of stemming from that relationship was true, and we secured an affidavit and then ultimately arrested.
Harris Audison is being held in the Escambia County Jail. His school district fired him in May after learning about the allegations. In Escambia County, Hannah O'Gara, WKRG News 5.
Ford, Indianapolis teacher and former coach, now faces multiple counts of sexual misconduct. Gordon Bass is accused of touching a student. He was arrested and is now charged with sexual misconduct with a minor, child seduction, and more. IPS confirmed he's employed with the district as a teacher, but is suspended pending the current investigation.
Rape, continuous abuse of a child, and aggravated sexual battery.
That jury deliberated an hour yesterday, and then all day today. They came back with their verdict at 7:30 tonight. Madison Sims was in court when Sanders learned his fate.
Former Hamilton County teacher Dwayne L. Sanders was found guilty on all 15 of his charges. That includes continuous sexual abuse of a child, aggravated sexual battery, and aggravated rape of a child. The trial took 7 days, and the jury heard from more than a dozen of the state and defense's witnesses. This included 7 children from Sanders' first grade class, who each detailed how Sanders would inappropriately touch their private areas during their time in his care at Wallace A. Smith Elementary. Following more than 9 hours of deliberation on Thursday, the 12-person jury found Sanders guilty on all counts. Parents of the victims let out sighs of relief, and several shed tears as the jury read each count.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Dwayne L. Sanders, Jr., guilty of aggravated sexual battery.
He was convicted of 7 counts of aggravated sexual battery, 7 counts of continuous sexual abuse, and 1 count of aggravated rape of a child. The court confirmed the verdict, and Sanders was placed in the custody of the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. Judge Barry Stillman addressed the jury following the hearing.
you've made the determinations, and we respect your verdict, and we respect the work that you've done. And again, the court thanks you so much.
Sanders has a sentencing date set for August 26th. Reporting from the Hamilton County Courthouse, I'm Madison Sims, Local 3 News.
Okay, so in this picture we got to look at Mr. Sanders' face. This, unfortunately, is the only article that I could find for a follow-up on this teacher. He was sentenced, finally. And let's see what we got here. Former Hamilton County teacher to serve life without parole. I would read the rest of the story, but as you can see here, I got to make an account and pay. So, not doing that. Done, gone, and on to the next one. See ya, Chomo.
Well, this is week 5 of the trial, day 21, the very end of the third day of jury deliberations, and a jury verdict that shocked many people, had others in the courtroom sobbing, and the defendant found surreal. That's according to his attorneys, who we talked to after the verdict was announced. 21 counts connected to 5 different alleged child victims, all girls who were students of Matthew Schlegel in 3rd grade math class at Severna Park Elementary School. The jury took 3 days, 19 hours to come to a decision on 18 of them, not guilty on all of them, from the very top count of sex abuse of a minor down to 4th-degree sex offense, a person in a position of authority, not guilty on those 18 counts. They are connected to all of the 5 girls, and said they could not reach a decision on a lesser included charge of 2nd-degree assault. We have a reaction to the verdict, basically the big win for the defense team, and the reaction to the verdict, which added up to a loss for the state.
It's a little bit surreal. This has been something we've been working on for over a year now. And once we had an opportunity to see the state's case and the discovery, it was apparent to us that he was innocent. And the jury's confirmation of that today is really uplifting for us, for his family, and for him. The job's not done. We still have a couple counts to resolve tomorrow, but I think the message is loud and clear that what we've been saying the whole time, that they got this wrong, is correct.
This is certainly not the outcome that we had hoped for in this case. One thing that strikes me is the criminal justice system expects a lot from child victims. And this case is no exception. While our office cannot guarantee verdicts in difficult cases, what we can guarantee is that we will always stand up for children and sexual assault victims, which we did in this case.
That's Anne Arundel County State's Attorney Ann Colt-Litis, who also had this message for the 5 girls who testified at this trial and all of their classmates who did as well. Almost 20 children who testified at this trial. The top prosecutor of this county told those children, "We believe you. We stand behind you. Hundreds of people stand behind you. This will not define you. This will make you more resilient as you move on in your life." We also heard from a grandfather and the mother of one of the 5 girls who said, justice was not served today. They said the state was outnumbered and outgunned by not 1 but 2 white-collar defense firms. They took issue with the way the children were treated on the stand. And the mother said, quote, "I hope in my heart that we at least have protected the girls who come after her," meaning her daughter, who is now 11 and in 5th grade. Reporting live from Annapolis, I'm Kate Amara, WBAL TV 11 News.
A former teacher at Calvary Christian Academy in Middleburg is facing serious charges. Deputies say 34-year-old Joshua Dice was arrested Wednesday after allegedly trying to meet a minor for sex. He's charged with using a computer to solicit a child and other felonies. The school says Dice was immediately terminated and is no longer affiliated with its ministries.
Frederick, Maryland. A Frederick Public Schools employee was arrested on child sexual abuse material Wednesday. Police and district officials said the Frederick Police Department says its investigation into Daniel Patrick Vandervossen began after a suspect was charged with multiple sex offenses in September. Detectives began an investigation involving internet crimes against children, and Vandervossen was developed as their prime suspect. During the investigation, search and seizure warrants were granted for Vandervossen's home and car, and on October 16th, detectives executed those warrants. After collecting significant evidence, Vandervossen was then taken into custody and transported to the Frederick County Adult Detention Center for processing. He's facing 11 counts related to the possession of child sexual abuse material. This may be just a small story of endless people getting arrested for this, but in reality, the harm and devastation caused lasts a lifetime for these children involved. To top it off, most of these offenders received nothing more than a slap on the wrist. This chomo here was out the next day on a mere $5,000 personal bond. Unreal.
To Needham, where a public school employee faced a judge after he was arrested on child sex abuse images. He is the third employee from the district to face similar charges this year. Our Darren Batella joining us live from Rentham this evening. Darren, you were in court for this arraignment. What can you tell us?
Hey, Priscilla. Well, very alarming for Needham. Parents were seeing a pattern here. Like you said, several months ago, we saw two teachers in Needham with similar circumstances, similar charges. We saw a band teacher and a middle school teacher both arrested and also both dismissed from their jobs.
We just want to ask you about your charges.
Excuse me?
What's your response to the allegations?
A third Needham Public Schools employee within the last several months facing charges related to child sex abuse images. Christopher Carlisle walking out of court on Tuesday, pleading not guilty.
The case that initiated as a cyber tip report that came in regarding a hit of alleged child sexual abuse material that were traced back to an IP that went to an address in Millis ultimately.
Back in April, Needham High School band director Spencer Parrish accused of possessing child sex abuse images. A month before, High Rock Middle School teacher Michael Ciccolella hit with similar charges, both arrested and dismissed from their jobs. In a statement to parents, the superintendent of Needham Public Schools said in part, quote, "It will be necessary for the district to reflect on and consider how these events have unfolded to ensure that we are doing everything possible for the safety of our students. This includes the recruitment, hiring, and supervision of all staff and contracted employees."
These are files that were actually shared in a private chat message to another user.
As for Carlisle, school district officials say right now he's on administrative leave and does not have access to the Elliott Elementary School where he was based or any Needham Public Schools buildings. And Carlisle is due back in court in August. Also, there will be counseling for students at Elliott Elementary in Needham, where he was based both today and tomorrow. Live in Rentham, Darren Battello, NBC 10 Boston.
A teacher in the Vineland School District has been arrested and charged with possession of child pornography. 50-year-old James Adams of Washington Township was arrested after authorities searched his home today. According to the Gloucester County Prosecutor's Office, Adams admitted to receiving child sexual abuse material via social media. Adams is a teacher at Dr. William Menny's Elementary in Vineland. The district says it is cooperating with investigators, and the safety and well-being of students remains its highest priority.
Breaking this evening, this longtime Bucks County Catholic school teacher is behind bars tonight, accused of possessing child pornography. The disturbing charges were just announced. CBS Philadelphia's Nikki Dementri is in Doylestown right now, where the district attorney just wrapped up a news conference. Nikki?
Hi there, Yuki. Prosecutors say that Richard Adamski was arrested on those felony child pornography charges earlier today. Now, court documents reveal that the 65-year-old admitted to investigators that he saved hundreds of sexually explicit images of children over the last 4 or 5 years. Take a look again at Richard Adamski. He again is 65 years old, and the Bucks County District Attorney's Office says he was a teacher at Nativity of Our Lord Catholic School in Warminster. They also say he was a coach for various boys and girls sports teams in the county, including sports teams for football and track and field. Back in March, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, quote, reported possible downloading or obtaining of child pornography. That IP address eventually led to Adamski. Investigators with the Bucks County District Attorney's Office says they weren't notified until mid-May of that tip. Search warrants were executed at his Warminster home earlier today. Again, he's facing charges including possession of child sexual abuse material and criminal use of a communication facility.
We know his reach is far when it comes to being in contact with children. At this juncture, we have no information to indicate hands-on perpetration of sexual offenses committed against children. Now, that does not mean to suggest for any minute that we don't take the crimes that he's charged with. It's very serious and very concerning.
And a spokesperson for the Archdiocese of Philadelphia also called those charges serious and disturbing. They released a statement reading in part, quote, neither the school nor the parish nor the Archdiocese had any indication of alleged wrongdoing on Mr. Adamski's part until being notified of his arrest earlier today. Now, court records show that the 65-year-old was unable to post bail and he remains at the county jail tonight. He is set back in court in early August. Anyone with information relating to this case, you're being asked to contact Warminster Police immediately. For now, live in Bucks County, Nikki DeVentry, sending back to you in the studio.
All right, Nikki, thank you so much for that.
Authorities have now released a list of school districts where a University City piano teacher accused of sex crimes may have worked as a substitute teacher. Fox 2's Mallory Thomas has new information from the school districts about the suspect, Daniel Yavitz.
A police investigation into Daniel Yavitz's background is ongoing. While detectives continue to search for possible victims, a list of school districts where Yavitz worked is being released. Messages and letters from superintendents are being sent out to parents in Parkway, Clayton, and special school districts, outlining a timeline from October 2023 through April of this year. A statement from Parkway superintendent sent out to Central Middle School parents says in part, quote, a former special school district employee, Daniel Yavitz, who was working as a teaching assistant paraprofessional at Central Middle School last year, was charged with sexual misconduct involving a minor. It goes on to say Yavitz was employed by special school district from August 2024 through April. They say he worked as a teaching assistant in the Essential Skills classroom. Both Parkway and Special School District superintendents say there are no reports of misconduct between Yavitz and any Parkway students. Clayton School District is sending out a similar letter to parents. They say, quote, Mr. Yavitz was hired by the district in October 2023. Over the past year, he worked as a substitute teacher at Glenridge Elementary, Wydown Middle School, and Clayton High School. They say for the 2023-2024 school year, he worked as a substitute teacher. University City School District is also on the list from police. However, they tell us the district never employed him and have no financial records of ever paying him. Another facility, Latitude Therapy, says, quote, during the time he worked at Latitude Therapy, we were not aware of any inappropriate interactions or situations. University City Children's Center is also on the list. I'm waiting to hear back from them. Court records show Yavitz is set to appear in court on July 30th. I reached out to his defense attorney and have not yet heard back. Reporting in St. Louis County, Mallory Thomas, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Deb, Andre, 2 physical education teachers for Baltimore County Public Schools now have mugshots. If you remember, we told you late last month about the arrest of a middle school teacher over in Essex, and now tonight we're learning about the arrest of a teacher who worked at Perry Hall High School. A Baltimore County Public Schools teacher now behind bars. News that took some Baltimore County Public School parents like Malaya Gamble by surprise.
You always wonder, if your children are well cared for and the people who are supposed to be looking out for them are actually doing their job. So It's very concerning.
Concerning to learn a physical education teacher at Perry Hall High School was arrested for sexual abuse of a minor. Baltimore County Police say that teacher is 40-year-old Sean Brooks. Investigators say that the alleged crimes happened on school grounds, and so far, 3 victims have come forward. BCPS released the letter sent home to parents today, saying in part, quote, BCPS is fully cooperating with law enforcement on this matter, and Mr. Brooks is on administrative leave and is barred from BCPS property. These charges are deeply disturbing, and this alleged behavior is completely unacceptable and will not be tolerated.
It's sickening. It's just truly sickening.
The arrest of Brooks marks the second time a BCPS physical education teacher was arrested for sexual offense charges in less than 2 weeks. We told you late last month, 61-year-old Roger Myers was charged with several sex offense and assault charges from his time at Deep Creek Middle School in Essex.
It's scary more than anything because the kids at that age, they trust. And, they think that, there's no worry about a teacher doing anything to them.
It's just something you just gotta always be concerned about. All the different violences and different things that go on, this thing on top of that, it's just, what next, unfortunately.
Baltimore County Police asked that if you feel you are a victim of Brooks to reach out to them. He is being held without bond tonight. Live tonight, I'm Tori Yorgi, WBAL TV 11 News.
A gym teacher at Perry Hall High School arrested on child sex abuse charges.
40-year-old Sean Brooks is currently being held without bond after his arrest earlier this week. Now, according to a letter sent home to parents, Brooks has been a teacher at Perry Hall High School since 2017. The school's principal writes Brooks is on administrative leave and barred from all district property. If you know more about these allegations or if you believe your child may be one of Brooks' victims, police are asking you to call the number on your screen there. That's 410-887-7720.
We're going to head over to Washington for this Planet of the Apes looking chomo. The Spokane Police Department there says a former teacher at a religious school was arrested in Florida on multiple felony charges of possessing material depicting sexual abuse of children. 38-year-old Tyrone L. Cliff was arrested and booked into the Hillsborough County Jail and is currently waiting for extradition back to Washington State. The investigation with Cliff started in August when the Internet Crimes Against Children received a cyber tip about the downloading and viewing of sexual abuse of children material from Cliff. Once they identified him as a Spokane resident, detectives were preparing to serve search warrants on him, but later found out that he had moved to Ruskin, Florida. The ICAC states that its detectives contacted Florida officials regarding Cliff, and they subsequently issued multiple felony warrants for him. Their investigation also found that he was actively working as a middle school teacher in Hillsborough County. Bottom line, you will be found and your face will go right here on the sex offender hit list. See ya, chomo.
A longtime teacher and swim coach now accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student 10 years ago.
Yeah, the former student saved text messages and even wrote a detailed letter to the district. WLWT News 5's Karen Johnson is live outside of Lawrenceburg High School with both. Hi, Karen.
Hey, Sheree, that's right. This right here is a copy of the 2-page letter. It outlines what the alleged victim says happened to her more than 10 years ago. Now, we were able to get a copy of the letter because it's public record, part of court filings. 61-year-old Elizabeth Schwartz, a once respected teacher and swim coach at Lawrenceburg High School, is now an inmate in the Dearborn County Jail. She was arrested yesterday, charged with 2 counts of child seduction. The allegations date back to 2014. The alleged victim, who was a student at the time, came forward in January, saying Schwartz groomed her while she was a minor, and the grooming escalated to kissing and fondling.
When this started to be investigated in January, there were conversations between myself as well as a detective, and you're going to need to substantiate, these allegations.
Investigators say the alleged victim did.
The alleged victim in this case, she had kept old cell phones. She had kept screenshots and some other conversations she had involving the defendant,
which led to Schwartz's felony charges. According to court documents, Schwartz wrote in one of those messages she would pay to kiss the student for 10 minutes. And in another, I want to make out tomorrow. Any chance? The alleged victim, who is now 28 years old, sent a letter to the Lawrenceburg School District in January detailing the allegations. She wrote, quote, I began attending church with Schwartz on Sundays with her family. After a few months, Schwartz began texting me on the weekends while under the influence of alcohol. The alleged victim says the first inappropriate message from Schwartz was, she told me that I was her woman crush. And months later, the alleged victim claims Schwartz would tell me she has never known a love like me in her life, not even her husband. And the former student said in her letter that she kept this a secret all of these years because of fear of her reputation and also shame, but she just recently realized the severity of the situation. No, Schwartz did retire in February, just days after learning about the criminal investigation. The school district tells me it's fully cooperating with police. Schwartz was in court this morning. Her bond was set at $55,000. Reporting live in Lawrenceburg tonight, Karen Johnson, WLWT News 5.
All right.
Middle school teacher accused of having sex with multiple students was in court today. A grand jury indicted Dagoberto Pena on child pornography charges after his victims say Pena had sex with them and recorded video of the assaults. Gulf Coast News reporter Madison Zaleski is outside the Charlotte County Courthouse walking us through the case.
We sat in Pena's pre-trial detention hearing today, and a judge didn't decide today on whether the teacher can leave jail while he awaits trial. A Charlotte County judge postponed whether Dagoberto Pena will have to stay locked up. Police arrested the Punta Gorda Middle School teacher in April. A student said the two had sex. Then last week, police arrested him again for having sex with another 14-year-old at her home, which she said started in 2024. The sheriff's office said there are now 3 victims. The arrest report revealed he recorded himself having sex with 3 girls. This week, a federal grand jury indicted him for child porn. Pena was also an assistant basketball coach at Charlotte High School. The school district told me they're proposing some new policies. Staff members will not be able to engage students on social media or through text messages.
A lot of people want to know, in light of these charges, how is Pena still employed by the school district?
Pena has been on unpaid administrative leave since May, and the school district told me they are still working towards his termination and following the process requirements of federal and state laws. For now, reporting in Punta Gorda, Madison Zaleski, Gulf Coast News.
Orange County substitute teacher has posted $100,000 bail on child molestation charges. 69-year-old Peter Morales was arrested earlier this month after police investigated allegations that he sexually molested 4 female students. The alleged incidents happened in the classroom at Adams Elementary School in Santa Ana. Police say the students ranged in age from 8 to 9 years old, and they told school officials that Morales touched them inappropriately. Morales was a teacher for the district for 18 years before becoming a substitute teacher. Officials say he was removed from the substitute list. Detectives believe there could be more alleged victims.
Tonight, a kindergarten teacher in Farmington is charged with possessing and promoting child sexual abuse material. According to court documents, 36-year-old Erica Morton shared those files on the Kik messaging app. Morton taught at the Truman Learning Center in the Farmington School District. In a letter to families, the district says there is no indication from law enforcement that the alleged incidents took place on school grounds or involved any students. Morton is no longer employed by the district. Back in December, she was named Teacher of the Year for Truman Learning Center, where she taught for 10 years.
41-year-old Nicole Crum was charged last week with sexual exploitation of a minor and contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
A Downers Grove High School teacher accused of sexually abusing a 15-year-old student now facing more than 50 charges tonight. Christina Formella was arraigned today on multiple counts of criminal sexual assault, sexual abuse, indecent solicitation of a child, and grooming. She pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors say she sent texts grooming the boy starting when he was 14 years old and had sex with him at least 50 times, including at the school. Ramella was granted pre-trial release and is due back in court August 4th.
We'll head over to Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. Prairie school teacher James Broadsman was arrested July 23rd for allegedly having images of child sexual abuse material on multiple devices found in his home. According to a press release from the Mount Pleasant Police Department, investigators received a tip in May from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children that Broadsman, a 53-year-old, was downloading that material. Police then executed a search warrant at Broadsman's home on July 23rd with the assistance from K-9 Kayla and K-9 Iris from the Kenosha Police Department, and they found multiple hidden devices throughout his residence. Now imagine if they didn't have those dogs with them. Well, in a note to parents, the Prairie School president, Nat Kaufman, said Broadsman was fired and there appeared to be no evidence of any harm to students. Well, in my opinion, I believe that every time something like this happens, those letters to parents should include things like telling them to talk to their children, ask them about the teacher, and most importantly, tell them to check their phones and other devices. It takes an extra couple seconds to type that out and include it. I personally believe it would make a huge difference in so many children's lives. James Broadsman was a middle school and upper school science teacher until his arrest. One mother with children at Prairie said she is shocked and still processing this news and feels very sick about it because Broadsman was one of her child's favorite students. Broadsman was booked into the Racine County Jail with a $75,000 bond on 7 felony counts of possession of CSAM. Each count carries a sentence of up to 25 years in prison and a mandatory minimum sentence of 3 years. Well, that's a max of 175 years. I wonder how this one will go down. Oh wait, here we got an update. The very next day, he had his bond lowered to a pathetic $5,000. Nice, huh?
A small child remains in critical condition tonight after suffering multiple stab wounds. Now a Sulphur High School employee faces serious charges. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Obadiku. The past school year, 37-year-old Patrick Green worked in the special education department. Tonight we're learning new details about the incident. The St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office says deputies responded to a domestic dispute yesterday and found a 6-year-old child with cuts and stab wounds to the face, neck, and chest. The child was airlifted to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. A spokesperson for the Sheriff's Office describes what deputies found in the home.
And they also immediately found a young child on the floor, bleeding severely from numerous lacerations. Once the medical personnel were on scene, stabilized the child, transported. Subsequently, the child was airlifted to a Baton Rouge facility, underwent immediate life-saving surgery, and received a second surgery this morning.
Authorities also say there were 7 children at the home at the time of the incident. Those children are with family members tonight, and right now, Green is facing counts of domestic abuse, battery, child endangerment, and strangulation. We're told additional charges will be forthcoming. The Calcasieu Parish School Board says Green is on administrative leave.
WPBF 25 News at 6 starts with breaking news.
Breaking now at 6, Damian Conti, a former South Tech Academy teacher, is found guilty of having a sexual relationship with a 16-year-old student. The jury found Conti not guilty of playing a role in her attempted suicide. Good evening, I'm Felicia Rodriguez.
I'm Todd McDermott. Thanks for joining us here at 6 o'clock. Our investigative reporter Terry Parker has been in that courtroom each day since the trial began and joins us live with more on the jury's verdict. Terry.
Right, and it took that jury just 90 minutes to find former teacher Damian Conti guilty of having sex with his former student while he was her teacher. They found him not guilty of assisting in her attempted suicide.
We find the defendant guilty of unlawful sexual activity with a minor.
That's what happened right when the verdict was read. Damian Conti showed no emotion as that verdict came down. His attorneys had claimed that he never had sex with a girl, and they argued that there was no proof that he had sex with a student. And now we're going to take a look at some of the dramatic moments that happened today, leading right up to the moment before that verdict.
In a final dramatic moment before resting their case, prosecutors silently opened evidence bags and pulled out a chain and thick length of rope to show the jury. It's the rope the 16-year-old victim was found hanging from in a wooded area about a mile from where her former teacher called 911. Damian Conti's attorneys say he was never part of a suicide pact, that he saved her life with that call.
There is no evidence that would corroborate that, except for her testimony. There is no evidence that she testified to anything about Mr. Conti wanting her to commit suicide.
The state argues Conti was actually stalling for time, hoping the teen would go through with ending her life, taking with her evidence of their illegal relationship just discovered by the school that day.
He called 911 to have something there on the record in existence in the event that she succeeded with her suicide.
Conti had the girl's location on his phone, but prosecutors say he didn't lead police right to her at first. And they say he didn't stop her from buying the rope and chain at Home Depot and leaving to find a secluded place. Conti's attorneys say that's because he panicked and called his therapist, that he thought he had time to get help before the teen carried out what she called their suicide pact. And as far as the underage sex charges, Conti's lawyer says actual sex never happened, that the explicit sexting the pair conducted was just a fantasy, part of their romantic relationship.
Even if it wasn't supposed to be happening, that's what it was, a relationship without a label.
On rebuttal, prosecutors brought home their main charge.
The word relationship was used ad nauseum, and Ms. Bomer said it was a relationship without a label. There is a label to that relationship, and the word is illegal.
And the jury did not find enough evidence to convict Conti of assisting in that attempted suicide, which the girl miraculously did recover from. Right now, prosecutors have declined to comment until Conti's sentencing is complete. That now is scheduled for August 15th. Live in West Palm Beach, I'm Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.
The South Jersey teacher accused of having a baby with a teenage student has now been indicted. Laura Karen is now charged with sexual assault. The 34-year-old was a fifth-grade teacher at Middle Township Elementary School. The alleged assault of the teen said to have happened inside Karen's home from 2016 to 2020. Prosecutors say the victim was 13 years old when their child was born in 2019.
Breaking news at noon, police say a former substitute teacher in Albemarle County is one of two men arrested amid ongoing investigations into online child exploitation. 33-year-old Thomas Samuel Kane of Charlottesville faces numerous child pornography charges after a search of a home on 10th Street Northwest. Charlottesville authorities say he was a substitute at Albemarle County schools as well as other school districts in Virginia. Anyone with additional information is urged to reach out to police. Meanwhile, 25-year-old Davian Shelton of Louisa County is facing charges this after police say an undercover detective was contacted by a man who believed he was talking to a 14-year-old girl. Shelton allegedly arranged to meet up with the supposed teenager at Azalea Park, where he was taken into custody.
Day 4U out of Lowndes County. According to jail records, the teacher and coach who was arrested after allegedly engaging in inappropriate behavior with a student is now being held without bond. Derek Yarborough, who previously taught math and coached golf at Lowndes High School, is charged with sodomy, child molestation, and sexual assault by a person with disciplinary or supervisory authority. According to Lowndes County Schools, immediate actions were taken to prevent Yarborough from having access to students, staff, or facilities. Lowndes County Schools said in a statement about this incident, quote, "The safety of our students, staff, and their families remain our top priority." And saying in
Rhode Island State Police arrested Hoxie Elementary School teacher Richard Conti, a 69-year-old, and charged him with possession of child sexual abuse material back on April 7th. The Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force members began the investigation of an individual allegedly using the internet connection at 61 Norfolk Road in Warwick. The task force members then executed a search warrant at that address and identified Conti, the Chomo, as the owner of the digital media used to possess that CSAM. Conti was then arrested and charged with 1 count of possession of child sexual abuse material and arraigned in 3rd Division District Court where bail was set at a mere $2,500, as the judge there didn't consider him a threat. Just wow, huh? Well, Conti is currently employed as a 5th grade teacher at the Contrell F. Hoxie Elementary School in Warwick, where he has worked for the past 21 years. He's also an umpire for local sports teams. Nah, he isn't a threat. Let's get for real.
For any students to see the pictures.
Valerie Hartless, who worked at Adams Elementary, believe there are any other victims, but they are in county jail. He's facing felony charges that include she became the victim of sex.
Smile sharp as a hidden blade, calling it special attention till the kid walks out, hollow and gray. You shake hands with the principal, pose clean for the yearbook frame, but every compliment, every secret text is a step in your little game. Leave the kids alone, you don't touch what isn't yours. Predator in plain clothes, hiding behind those doors. Judges slap your wrist, then you're free to roam again. See ya, trouble. Should've lost your life to the pen. Jurors see the trembling hands, hear a voice that can barely speak. You call it bad decision once, they call it a stolen week. You walk out and you're button up, they walk out with a lifelong scar. You get time served, keep your name, they get told that's just how things are. Leave the kids alone, you don't touch what isn't yours. Slap your wrist, then you're free to roam again. See ya, Shomo, should've lost your life to the pen. Teacher of the year on a plastic plaque. How many kids did you break like that? Gavel hits soft, you just get back to the comfort you had. Where's the line we swore not to cross? Where's the way for